you we'd be back. We are live at Entertainment Weekly's San Diego Comic-Con 2022 suite, and with me now the cast and director of the upcoming film Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Give them a warm welcome. Virtual, you can hear the applause, right? I just want to have you guys go around. I think lots of folks will know who you are, but just introduce yourselves and more importantly, who you're playing in this movie so we get a good feel of all these characters. We'll start here.
Great. I am Myhala, and I play Jordan. Jordan is your Gen Z, type A, passive-aggressive truth teller.
Know a lot of those. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Maria Bacalova, and I'm playing B. I'm playing the new girl, the outsider, and she's a little bit awkward, but she's good-hearted. I hope. I wish. We'll see.
My name is Chase. I play Emma. Emma is a tortured soul. I think she's a very repressed human being, kind of a silent sufferer in a deeply, deeply toxic relationship. And yeah, heart goes out to her.
These are all so sad. My name is Amanda Stenberg. I play Sophie, and she is a fun, chaotic addict and a terrible friend.
Ooh, all right.
Hi, I'm Rachel Sennett. I play Alice, and she is a lover and a podcaster.
And I'm Halina, and I'm the director.
And you're a what?
Yeah, what are you?
Scorpio.
Yeah, exactly.
Period.
Those are all important too. Okay, so I think what's important to set up here and kind of explaining this story is that we have a drinking game that goes horribly wrong. Sets the stage for things to kind of spiral out of control. There's some violence. So I guess really the most important question is what kind of research you put into that yourselves.
Don't we love this question? Well, I know that lots of us have played a version of this game before.
Oh, okay.
So I was very familiar with it coming in. The drinking aspect was new. Some of the other elements of the game were new to me, but I called it Mafia.
Mafia.
Yeah.
Werewolf Mafia. I feel like all of us, at least like everyone kind of knows what it is to be a part of a group and a group dynamics that can often like go awry. And so just calling upon that, like whether it was from like your group of girlfriends in high school or middle school, all those kind of dynamics and things that are unsaid that are so present, I feel like really played into all our dynamics in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I watched a lot of horror movies, especially slashers and like sardonic horror, because that's what this is. It's like deeply satirical and meta. So I watched all kinds of horror, but like zeroed in on like Jennifer's Body, Scream, you know, the ones that like have that kind of almost early aughts sarcasm.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you specifically mentioned the kind of Gen Z attitude in the film here, and I think it's done so well. But was it all in the script? Did you let them kind of go? Was there improv in bringing all of that to it?
I do think we have a genius writer, Sarah DeLapp, who's herself very young. She's also a playwright. She's like incredibly intelligent and incredibly funny. But of course, I mean, I'm 46, making a film with these young people about these young people. We wanted to really collaborate and not just, force a script up on them. So a lot of it is also theirs. Things that they improvise, but also ideas that they came up with in the rehearsal process. So yes.
Was there anything that you guys brought that you thought, oh, they're never going to use that, and it was in the film, and you were like, oh, like that's amazing that they kept it?
Well, I think all the girls together, and I partially, I think, trying to think, got together and we went through the script a couple of times in previous versions. So part of the ending of the movie, where there is a big words fight, actually came up with their idea that that's going to develop the characters even more. So it ended up in the movie, and it's pretty much the most exciting part of it, I think.
That's cool, like that kind of collaborative process. It sounds like you had.
I would say like 50% of what Rachel does that's in the film, that is actually in the film, is all Rachel.
Yeah.
She is
Definitely.
a brilliant comedian, and improv is like nothing to her. All of that is you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was gonna say the memory of the body dysmorphia line. We were at dinner like a couple night. Should I not say that?
Yeah,
We were at dinner like a couple on a weekend, and I was like drunk, and I was like, I have body dysmorphia, and like seriously talking about it to the table. And Lena was like, say that, because
We're like, let's exploit it.
because the line I think was initially like, I have anxiety, and I have that too, but I was like, the specifics, I think, and because the script is so amazing and each character is so well defined, you can always, know where to go with improv. And I feel like also everyone's it was such like a team atmosphere where you're like, we're all gonna support each other in the scene and know when to be like, push and pull, you know what I mean? So it was really, really fun.
We had that party sequence where I feel like on the page it's very brief, but I think as we filmed it, it felt like it was like a 9-minute take or something like that, where everyone was just kind of being these like feral beasts. So everyone's like liable to do anything at any given time. So like to be really like tapped in and just know like I got to do my piece because we're all just like swimming in the deep end of this like 9-minute take. It was really cool and special.
I was going to call it a comedic horror. Sardonic horror is so much better. Given that it is horror, we know people will die. I'm not going to spoil anything, but this is a generally speaking question because in horror movies there, is the concept, the idea of the final girl. And it could be any of you. I'm not going to say who, but generally speaking, like tell me about the thought, the fun that goes into playing up that aspect of who could be.
I mean, I feel like this movie is more so about who the killer is, not who the final girl is.
Yeah.
But I think we all had a fun time. There were moments where I feel like we weren't even necessarily aware of it, but Helena and our DP Jasper Wolf were like pushing us towards our darker sides, so that it could remain to be seen who the killer is. So I think there's some kind of surprising moments in it where, like, even watching it, and I know the end, I'm like, hold up. I'm like, is that the killer? Because she's just moving mad weird.
Yeah.
In that sense, we also really wanted to make a modern Clue. I don't know if people remember that film. And more like a murder mystery in that sense. And as they all are saying, I think I come from the theater, radical art house, so we also really wanted to have that dark undercurrent. And, and then we wanted to be a surprise. Like, who do you suspect when? And where is the real killer? Is it outside of us or is it inside of us?
Well, you brought up something I was actually going to ask with your stage work. What have you learned from that you were able to apply to directing a horror film?
I think because I come from theater, that's the only way I can think. Like, I'm not educated in film, so theater is my only reference. And to do genre, which is like such a specific construct, and within that to search for our own authenticity and uniqueness, I think that is what I could bring. And hopefully that they were all becoming a group, because I was part of an ensemble for all these years, so no ego, everybody is just together in this, and we're collaborators. We're not like, I'm not the dictator, we're doing this with all of us, and I think they did an amazing job in that.
And adding to all of that are the elements. There's a lot of rain, and then there's blood, and all of this. I mean, I've heard some people on horror shoots are like, I found blood like in crevices days later, like it's stuff on like armpits or stuff like that. Your similar experience?
Oh, yeah.
Very true.
At a certain point, we started just showering in the house.
Yeah.
Well, you couldn't
so
leave
scary.
like that.
Yeah,
Like-
but leaving work, like sometimes I would drive back to our dark and dank motel, and you would get in the shower, and it's like 4:45 a.m. and the blood is just pooling around the drain, and you're like, what is my job? What is my life? But there's something also about all those elements and like the water and everything that gets you into a certain headspace and frame of mind that's really helpful for acting, I think.
A headspace, but even more kind of, I mean, it makes it a little more difficult too. Makes the night maybe feel a little longer. The nights in the
But you use it.
The
You
many
use
nights.
it.
No, you can't say use it. I'm dead. I mean, we did it, but it was an accident. It was thrust upon us. There was no, like, they're like, oh, it's a film, like, it's not really happening. No, that was happening to us. We were fully in a hurricane. The winds were what? 40 miles per hour, actual, like, tons and tons of rain, and then trees and things, like, flying through the air and slapping us in the face. And
Very European approach.
Very European approach. Right.
How did that happen to us? Well, also I remember the first night it happened, And girls, I'm thinking about the hot dogs. This is time has come to talk about the hot dogs. It was the first night that we are like shooting in the rain. We're all like, oh, this is what it is. And we're like sitting in this little closet. We're all shivering.
We're so cold also because it's like, we're supposed to be like Gen Z hot girls.
Yeah.
So we're all wearing these like itty bitty
Skinny
little
little
blood tank
eyes,
tops. And the costume designer is like desperately trying to like cut together 2-inch strips of like thermals to like wrap around like our ribs.
And it was just like so cold. We're shivering. We have like little towels. And there's a weird, no one's saying anything. Dead silence. No one, and then there's a weird smell. And we were like, what is that? Raw. And then Maria pulls back. We see a tray with paper towels over it.
Underneath
Pulls
the
it
wet,
back.
sopping, muddy towels is a bin of raw hot dogs, no plate, no dressings,
buns.
just the flailing meat.
Hot dogs.
And we're in such a desperate, beastly state that
we leave the thing, and they were like, "Girls, did anybody tell you there's hot dogs?" And we were like, "You have to be joking! Somebody left a tray of them in the closet."
And they were wet as well.
They were wet.
Because
We were wet.
we had like millions of dirty towels.
and we ate
Yes.
it.
That was the real horror. You ate
Who ate a hot dog? Raise your
Maria
hand.
ate it.
But somebody else ate hot dog.
I think there was
Someone had to do it.
There was
Someone had to do it.
someone
for
had
the
a hot
team,
dog.
right?
I don't know.
Oh gosh. Well, look. I mean, as much fun as this is,
On
that
that note.
translates to the screen. Like what we are getting here, you are going to see in this movie. Be sure to check it out. Sorry, give us again our premiere date.
August 5th.
There you go. It is coming up. Thank you so much to all of you for being
Thank
here.
you.
Enjoy the rest of
Thank you.
Comic-Con. Yeah, and thank you guys for tuning in. More interviews coming to you today. Don't go anywhere.